what I'd like to do now is turn it over to Adam, Theresa, and Ozzy to get a little bit more to the heart of what is it that Howl is bringing right now? What's our mission and our vision, and who's this program for? And I'll let you all take it away.
Thanks, Adam. Wow, I'm super happy with all the people who've come out to support us in this virtual way. I wish we were all in the same room together. That would make this a lot more exciting and fun. But, you know, it is what it is. And I'm just grateful to be surrounded by so many people who I've talked to about this vision, and you're out here supporting us in this way. And lots of former students I see on the call, and that makes me really happy as well. So, but it looks like Theresa has a moment of peace in her house. She's got a 1-year-old, I think, a couple feet away from her right now. So I want to make sure that we get Theresa on here to talk as soon as possible. So I can talk all day about this, but I want to ask Theresa why she thinks that it's the right moment to start a project like this for the world, for youth at this moment in time. So Theresa, if you want to introduce yourself and go ahead with that question.
It only looks peaceful because you can't see the 1-year-old standing on the rocking chair behind my computer. Just gonna throw that out there. Giving me a heart attack, keeping me on my toes. Heute Theresa Westhaver ganz Jasper ganz. So my name's Theresa and I'm from Jasper. And I think that, oh gosh, I just have to show you this first.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
It's going to be a mobile presentation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you're going to be part of this too. And this is like said, it's my 1-year-old. But I think that I just want to give you a little bit of context to my story, because I think that is important for understanding why I think Howl is needed. And I was actually one of Adam's students here in Jasper in high school. And he kind of opened my eyes to the fact that education doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to look like we're, sitting in a desk, sitting in a box room with little to no windows. It can be very different. So fast forward 7 years of the longest undergrad ever. And speaking of non-linear approaches to things, I was looking for, I wanted to look for outside the box type of education during my post-secondary degree. And it was difficult to find sometimes. Like I really had to make my own thing essentially, because that type of program didn't just exist already. I had to patchwork together different experiences, different field schools, different field trips and things like that to get the type of experiential education that I wanted and to learn the way that I wanted. And I recognize that not everyone has the opportunity to do that. And I started working at the Palisades Education Center as an outdoor and environmental educator about 4 years ago. And in the meantime, Adam had started bringing his Calgary students to that spot. So it was kind of a surreal experience. I think the first time that I taught Adam's high school class out at the Palace, we started working together, and it just had come full circle to that in many ways. But during my time at the Palisades, I saw so many students who they really, they never pictured themselves continuing their education because they didn't, bless you, they didn't fit within that conventional educational mold, I guess. So they just didn't even see that as an option for them when, and these are students in grade 10, 11, grade 12, just trying to get enough credits to graduate and, basically not have to go back to school because they didn't feel like, it just didn't fit for them. It wasn't the right fit. My passion in that role was to try and send the message that education doesn't have to look a certain way. Again, like, this is kind of how the path that I took. It was all over the map. It was very dynamic, and it was anything but linear. And I just, you can make it work, but I feel like it shouldn't have to be that much work for students. If we can create and curate this type of experience, where it gives opportunities for growth in education, and maybe facilitate some of those more uncomfortable experiences that allow for growth. I think for me, that's where Howl is really, really important. And I feel like everyone knows, if you're an educator out there, maybe you have a student in mind who you see their potential, and you put them in a different context. Maybe it's outside the classroom in a different learning context, and you see them shine. And it's just like they're a leader. And I've had teachers come up to me and be like, I don't even recognize the student, like, when they're outside of learning at the Palisade Center in a different way. And I feel like just to unlock that potential, to see the confidence and empowerment that type of learning, that type of environment creates, I think that's, at least from my perspective, my baby is gone. It's too quiet. That's how is really important, and that's what I would like to help create. So I'm gonna leave it at that while I track down this baby.
Okay, that is incredible that you're able to speak that eloquently while wrangling a 1-year-old at the same time. I do not have that ability myself, so huge respect towards you, Theresa, but you've always been an extreme multitasker, so I think this is just another one of those things for you. But yes, very surreal moment when the role of teaching Theresa turned into having Theresa teach my high school students, but just also felt so proud. And she's an incredible educator with Parks Canada up in Jasper. And I know she's a very valued member of their team, and she's jumped on board because she's always had this vision of what education could look like. And I think that's what we're attempting to do with this gap year program also, is to kind of demonstrate that learning can look and feel much differently than it appears in the traditional education system. And I think that's why we all decided we wanted to create this, because we saw that that there were so many young folks out there who just needed something a little bit more to be able to find their spark and to be able to push forward and find that pathway. And the key to all of that, of course, is experiences. And that's why we wanted to call this the Howl experience. It's about putting you in positions and introducing you to different people so that you can see, or you can hear your own voice first, but also you meet these people and you're like, yeah, I kind of really like how that person is trying to do things in their business or in their organization. And the more people you're exposed to like that, the more you hear their stories, the better you feel about yourself, first of all, because you understand that everybody has this very non-linear story about how they got to where they got to in life. But it gives you that direction, and you know that things are going to be okay. So that's a lot of what Howl is when you're with us. We're going to give you all these experiences to put you in a position where you can kind of see where you fit in this whole thing, and give you a really strong community full of people like Vicky and Cass and Ozzy, who you'll meet, who are just probably some of the most supportive people I've ever met in my life to surround yourself with. So Ozzy, I'm going to throw it over to you. In terms of, you can talk about why you think it's the right moment to launch a program like this, maybe, and what for you is like that deciding factor in wanting to join this organization.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Adam. So I think that this is important on many levels. So the first one, like, as you can see on this this slide that we have up. And thank you to Adam Mertens for putting this together, this infographic, because I really think it captures the essence of what we're really looking at. And youth are at the center of it. So really building up the skills that youth already come to programs like this with. We know that there is a ton of different skill sets that youth are going out of high school with, whether it be from being in high school or a activity that they did outside of high school, like creating video games or coding or learning how to ski. I think that all of those skills are so valuable, and given the right environment, can really thrive. And the second really important piece is that community. And I think that we've talked a lot about how this can be really impactful for youth and for participants coming into this. But that gets me really excited, and gets me dancing out of bed in the morning. So that's definitely there, but that impact that we can have on communities, not only the communities that we're in, but the communities that people are going back to. Because once you're in something like this, a experience where you can connect with a community, where you can see how much of an impact you can have on a community, when you go back, there is no way that you can turn that off. When you go back to your community and see all of the different opportunities, see how things are working. I've been in this so many different times where I've been in this experience and saw this amazing thing, and I came back to where I live here in Calgary, and I was like, okay, I need to do something. I need to try and make something like that happen here, because it's an immersive experience. And that last piece, that last ring of there is the environment, the ecosystems, living with the land and really allowing the land to teach you, but also creating this relationship with the land. And I think that requires the time and space to give yourself to kind of explore on a deeper level, not only exploring nature in different ways, but also exploring what does nature have to offer you, and what can you learn from it. There's so many pieces in that.